You want me to bring extra? I can bring an extra towel. That's fine. It's no worry. It's like an extra outfit. I'm not bringing no extra outfit. Two out. No. You're bugging. Abusador. Yo, what's up and welcome back. Yes, back to Angel's Reach, and of course, as always, I'm Angel. And today I wanted to talk about the fact that I used to love going to the laundromat. And I still do, but I used to as well. That's a Mitch Hedberg joke for you, and I'm not stealing the credit for that. Yo, I used to love doing laundry. It's a gloomy day in New York, and I decided to do my laundry today because I tend to find it as a sort of therapeutic chore. I really, really love going to the laundromat and spending anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours getting a fresh restart on clothes and getting a refresh on the way I smell and the way I present myself. It's really nice. So I grew up in a Hispanic household that had about like 6 family members. And so we would go what felt like once a month to the laundromat. It was probably more like 2 to 3 weeks. Gotta love New York, man. Gotta love New York. But I would go to the laundromat what felt like once a month, but again was really like probably 2 to 4 or once every 2 to 4 weeks. But some of my fondest memories were in the laundromat. We went to a laundromat that was right across the street from my elementary and middle school, and it was not all too uncommon for me to bump into people that I went to school with that lived around the neighborhood that also went to the same laundromat or were just like around the area. You know what I mean? Sorry. But one time that my mother was making us dry clothes towards the end of our shift at the laundromat, towards the end of the laundromat session, my mom told me to go fold and roll up socks, and she said fold socks, and I had never ever folded clothes up to this point. My mom never made me like do the folding. She would just make me like manually put in stuff and put money into cards or like stuff like that. She wouldn't really make me do the physical folding. But one time she was in a really heated phone call, I could tell, with one of my aunts, and she told me to go fold up and roll up the rest of the socks while everybody else was folding like the main clothes. And I remember like my heart sinking and being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, until one of my classmates eventually ended up coming and pause. But one of my classmates, or the kids in my grade, I don't know if he was in my class, but one of the kids in my grade ended up showing up, and he was like, "Yeah, me and my family are folding clothes and drying clothes right now, or actually are washing clothes right now." And I was like, "Oh, that's super dumb. My family is almost done. We're drying the clothes and or like folding them right now. You want to help?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I remember him rolling up some socks, and I had never seen anybody ever do that. Like I'd never paid attention to when my family members did that. And I was like, "Wait, do that again. That's like way quicker than the way my brother taught me." And then he rolled them up again, and I figured out how to do it. And I was like, wow, wait, hold up, let me see. And then I did them for like, I did it for like 2 pairs of socks. And I was like, all right, cool. I know how to do it now. And he's like, how did your brother how did your brother show you to do it? And I was like, no, I'm not even going to show you. This way is way quicker. And then I just moved the conversation. I don't remember what we talked about for the rest of that night. I just know that for that night, he saved my ass and he changed my life forever. He showed me how to roll up socks, and I felt like I was an adult. I was like, dude, I can roll up my own socks now. Pretty soon I'm going to be able to drive, like 6th grade is right around the corner. It's like, what, like, that's funny, but yo, Dominican kids in like 2008 were wildin', bro. They were talking about like, yeah, like in DR, if you're 13, you can drive and you can drink, and I'm like, yo, bro, like who are your cousins, bro? Because that cannot be the case. But I don't know. It was pretty consistent, like along like all the kids that like they were getting into like some crazy shit whenever they would go there every summer, and I'm like, damn, y'all can like drive, have sex, and drink, and I'm like, you guys aren't even like 12 yet, and like you're saying 13-year-olds are doing this and convincing you guys to do it too. What the fuck is going on, man? But laundry is super important, and I used to not like it in middle and high school because it was just busy physical work that I wouldn't do. And so I would just obviously give my clothes to my mom whenever, like, it was like laundry time, like once a month, and cough up some, I was going to say cough up some cash. It's really cough up physical labor, bringing like the cart up and down the stairs and bringing everything around, and just being like muscle for them before they do like the busy work of the laundry. And so and they being like the other members of my family, like it's anybody that wasn't me, because I just didn't feel like doing it. I've been pampered. And so laundry I used to not like, but then when it got to the time where I had to do like my own laundry, and my mom was like, "Listen, I'm gonna do like my load and your sister's load. Your brother does his own. Like everyone that lives is supposed to do their own. You gotta start doing your own." I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." When I started doing my own laundry, I sort of had time to myself, and this ties into like something I wanted to talk about for a while, which is like not ever feeling like I'm myself unless I'm fully on my own. Like even when people are in the same building as me or same floor and stuff, I was just like, specifically family members, I just won't feel like I'll be able to fully be myself and say the things I want to say, think the things that I want to think. I just feel like I have to constantly put like a thin layer of bubble wrap, like a thin sheet layer of, not even, I want to say like socially acceptable behavior, but it's not even like the way that I behave isn't socially acceptable. It's just like I don't want the like most rawest and vulnerable and authentic moments of myself to be shared with other people. I don't think that makes sense, but when it comes to doing laundry, even surrounded by strangers, I can, lose myself in linen sheets and finding the corners of each bed sheet and making sure that like every towel is folded into thirds and that every underwear is placed in the right place, and that all the hoodies and jackets are organized by size and how much space they take up. And even just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just something about the whole quiet process of it. I can start doing my laundry at a laundromat and not leave the place. And no, rather, I can go to a laundromat and leave the place without having said a word, and I think I'll be, you know, more than satisfied. And that's coming from someone who talks to himself a lot. Sometimes quiet moments are absolutely necessary, and I know that. And I can't usually find them, Like, I have, like, some moments before I go to work that some family members aren't home. And I would usually abuse nighttime because every one of my family members would be, at their bed sleeping, getting ready for the next morning. And I would have time to walk around the house like a ghost, you know what I mean? Just enjoying the times that people weren't present. It was also a really bad thing for when I would sneak out of the house to like drink outside. I would go to certain spots and just drink from, let's say, 11 to 3, 4 in the morning, and just enjoy times where people weren't outside. And I acknowledge like my privilege, and I know that like, oh man, if I was a woman out at night, like 2 a.m., like drinking on my own, like I'd be cooked, bro. Like that's straight up like unsafe. And my mom recognized that and told me to stop doing that, and I did. But I still sometimes think of moments where like I was on my own and just unconcerned with something that was happening around, with anything that was happening around me. And the only thing that existed was the task at hand. And usually doing laundry, it's that, whether under the influence or not, it was just usually some podcast or an album playing, but it was usually some media being consumed and clothes being folded. And it really made me think that I don't really need too much to function or keep going or feel satisfied. Um, as long as I get what I need, and I I need time to myself, and I need I I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Maybe I'm close to a breakthrough. Maybe I've been saying the same thing over and over again. I don't know. But I just wanted to say that laundry is a time for me to be myself and ship everything back, both in a physical sense in terms of clothes, but also in a mental space or in a mental way. It just lets me take everything off and start again. Um, it's super dope. It's super dope. It's super satisfying. And I usually do my laundry when it's gloomy outside or like when it's raining. And that's also when I like to listen to Frank Ocean's Endless album. And that's only on Apple Music as far as I'm concerned. Maybe, I'm pretty sure you can get it on YouTube and SoundCloud and stuff like that. Other probably streaming platforms, but Endless, Frank Ocean album, I like to listen to when I'm doing my laundry and when it's gloomy outside. So when it's gloomy outside and I'm doing my laundry, like add a little bit of rain, and I'm listening to Endless, just forget about it. It's just the perfect way that I spend my usually off day. I don't usually do my laundry on the same day that I work. I don't like to, double stack my days, even though it's not too much work to put into one day. But you know, uh, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe I gotta stop saying because you don't. Um, yeah. I'm gonna end it here. Do your laundry, fold your stuff, hang your stuff up, organize your shit. You don't need to color coordinate your stuff, but just make sure you know where everything is and feel. Mm, I feel appropriate is not even like the right thing to say. I hope you're satisfied and I hope you're pleased with the way that you go about the rest of your day and week, dude. That's all that I can say, really. I hope that you are satisfied. Satisfaction is, I mean, one of the most satisfying things in the world, I would imagine, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. Bye.